is Tuesday, March 20th. My name is Mark Siomo. I'm the Chairman of Ways and Means and the District 9 City Councilor. I am joined today by two colleagues. To my immediate left, Councilor Tim McCarthy, and to my right, soon to be right, our new Councilor Ed Flynn. Welcome. We are here to review collective bargaining agreements between the City of Boston and the Boston Police Department, Superior Officers Federation, and the Forensics Department. I'd like to remind folks this hearing is both being broadcast live and recorded on Comcast Channel 8, RCN Channel 82, Verizon 1964, and streamed at boston.gov/city-council-TV. We encourage public testimony at the conclusion of the city's presentation and questions and answers following from my colleagues. We ask that you sign in to my left by the door, state your name, any affiliation and residence. And again, we are here regarding dockets 0405, 0406, 0407, and 0408. 0405, message in order to reduce the fiscal year 18 appropriation for the reserve for collective bargaining by $4,824,768 to provide funding for the Boston Police Department for the fiscal year 18 increases contained within the collective bargaining agreements between the City of Boston and the Boston Police Superior Officers Federation. Docket 0406, message in order approving a supplemental appropriation of $4,824,768 to cover the FY18 cost items contained in the collective bargaining agreement between the City of Boston and the Boston Police Superior Officers Federation. The terms of the contracts are July 1st, 2016 through June 30th, 2017, and a successor agreement July 1st, 2017 through June 30th, 2020. The major provisions of the contracts include base wage increases of 2% effective the first pay period of July of each fiscal year. The agreement also includes increases to the existing Quinn Bill / education benefits, modified cumulative risk benefits beginning in July 2016, and increases to hazardous duty pay beginning in July 2017. Docket 0407, message in order to reduce the FY18 appropriation for the reserve for collective bargaining by $82,323 to provide funding for the police department for the FY18 increases contained within the collective bargaining agreements between the City of Boston and the Boston Police Detectives Benevolent Society Forensic Group. 0408, message in order approving a supplemental appropriation of $82,323 to cover the FY18 cost items contained within the collective bargaining agreements between the City of Boston and the Boston Police Detectives Benevolent Society Forensics Group. The terms of the contracts are October 1st, 2016 through September 30th, 2017, and October 1st, 2017 through September 30th, 2020. The major provision of the contracts includes base wage increases of 2% effective the first pay period of January of each fiscal year. The agreements also include other benefits, including new specialty differentials beginning in 2018. These matters were sponsored by Mayor Walsh and were referred to the committee on March 14, 2018. Thank you, Justin, Anne-Marie, and Steve, for providing your testimony today. I will hand it over to you.
Great, thank you. Councilor Siomo, Councilor McCarthy, Councilor Flynn, thank you for having us here today. I'm joined today by Anne-Marie Noonan from the city's Labor Department and Deputy Whitman from BPD. As you mentioned, we're here to discuss 4 dockets relating to the FY18 collective bargaining agreement between the city and the superior officers and forensic groups for the Boston Police Department. The combined $4.9 million reserve draw will be distributed to cover the FY18 cost of the contracts between the two. As you remember, the FY18 budget contained about $47 million collectively for collective bargaining reserves like this throughout the year. So far, the City Council has passed 8 collective bargaining agreements, including BTU, detectives, PhD nurses, CENA, detective superiors, SEIU a few weeks ago. With the passage of this supplemental, if it passes, the remaining balance in the FY18 collective bargaining reserve will be about $11.3 million. And with the completion of these contracts, the city will have settled agreements with about 74% of unionized employees. And I will turn it over to Anne Marie, and she will go through any high-level specifics on the contract, and happy to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you.
So starting with the superior officers, as you indicated, there's the base wage increases. There's also a return to full Quinn within that through the course of the contract. Some modifications to the career benefit that similar to what other groups have received. There's an increase to their hazardous duty pay. And many of these items are similar to reforms that were made with the other groups. And I can go to the criminalist group, or we can open it up to questions if you want on that group.
Yeah, no, I think we can take it all together. Thanks.
The criminalists who are the forensics group, they're civilians over at the police department. They're affiliated with the detectives union, and they process the crime scenes and present a lot of the sort of forensic evidence that's necessary in the city. They, like many of the other civilian groups, are negotiated for the paid parental leave that exempt employees currently enjoy. They also agreed to move to biweekly pay. We established an on-call provision for those folks. As you might imagine, they have to respond to crime scenes late at night, on weekends, holidays, so we established a benefit for that. There are various certifications that they have to attain throughout the course of their careers, so we established differential payments in review of that to sort of compensate them in exchange for that, as well as some reimbursement of the certifications that they have to retain in order to stay certified, which is helpful to the city to have its own forensics folks. And some of the other modifications, we're bringing them into similar personal leave benefits as other groups like SEIU and AFSCME.
Thank you. How many members are in the each collective bargaining group?
Yeah, so it's about 250 members in the superiors, and it's about 27 in the forensics group.
Okay. And is there any other, we've heard the patrolmen's, we've heard the school police, pretty much they all mirror each other. Is there any highlight from these agreements that are any substantially different than the other agreements?
I mean, I think each package is, slightly different, but overall, the major components of this one are very similar to the other police sworn unions.
Right. Let me recognize the Chair of Public Safety, Councilor Tim McCarthy.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. I really only have one question. It's more of a statement. I'm always concerned when the sick buyback is given up. I know we have a lot of, and Mark he was nice enough to ask a question for me a couple weeks ago when I had a conflict and I couldn't make a hearing. Out of the 27, are there any of the people in that unit who are giving up money because of that sick buyback change? And I guess the reason why I say that is, to use a sports acronym, it's like we're kind of moving the goalpost during the game, where a lot of people, especially at the lower levels, which isn't certainly in this, but in other unions, they come to work every day thinking that at the end of when they get to the finish line, they'll have a little extra dough coming back to them. And I hate to move that and say, well, all that achievement you've tried to make, well, we just negotiated down, so you're only getting 15.
I don't believe there's anybody close to the retirement
Perfect.
in this membership. We're not sure if anybody would actually be impacted by it. We are happy to get the numbers on that.
Yeah.
We
No, that's
anticipate
great
it'll
to
be
hear.
very well.
I completely trust you. I just, every time I see that, I know so many people, especially when I was in public works, who are, you know, they're the men and women who are at that, you know, lower range, and they've got boots on the ground, and they don't take any sick days, even though they probably could take some sick days because they're sick as dogs, but they make sure they get there every day. And their thought is, you know, when I hit 62, I'm gonna get a check, and that's gonna be great. And then all of a sudden, somebody says, well, now you're only gonna get 10 grand. So that's always my concern, but, you know, I thank you for being here, and I look forward to voting in the affirmative when the chair sees fit.
Thank you, Councilor McCarthy. I also want to recognize Councilor Nisasabi George has joined us. Councilor Flynn.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I don't have any questions, but I'd like to make a couple brief comments. Before serving as a city council as a probation officer for 10 years at Suffolk Superior Court, and I had the opportunity to work with the Boston Police on every day, Boston Police Superior officers, and the detectives as well. But I just want to pass along to you, as you know well, that, you know, we have a high-quality, excellent police force. They work hard. They represent the city well. And I believe in the collective bargaining process. I think it protects workers, it protects families, and it helps our police. And I'm proud to work with them on a daily basis. I'm also a strong supporter of the Quinn Bill. I see how effective it is in making our police the most educated they can be. So I'm glad that this contract is covering the Quinn Bill, and I fully support the Quinn Bill. I think it's a great program, and it's doing a lot of great work for our police in the city of Boston, and that's something I want to focus on the city council as well, just to make sure that the Quinn Bill is always there for our police officers. I know how hard they work. They want to be educated and trained, and it's a great program. And like Councilor McCarthy, I'm looking forward to voting in favor of the contract as well.
Thanks, Councilor Flynn. Councilor Nisasabi George.
I'm okay. I apologize for coming in late. Thank you.
No problem. Thank you. Well, let me just end this by echoing the comments of both of my colleagues that, you know, you watch the news every night, and it just reinforces what a great job you guys and women do for our city in every way, from the patrolmen, the CSOs, the civilians, to the captains, the superiors. We have the best police force in the country, and I think we see that on a regular basis. So with that, I will adjourn today's hearing and report this out tomorrow at the council meeting. We are adjourned.